some pretty wild injuries that have happened in various rugby matches, and as you can see, a lot of these injuries occurred during the tackle, and that is actually pretty much where most of the injuries occur is during the tackle in games, and most of these occur to the lower body, the bruising of the hips. You got strains, sprains, fractures. You got foot, feet, and knees just bending every which way they're not supposed to, and a lot of this is from the mechanism of force of one player crashing against another during regular play of the game. And you probably also realize that none of these guys are really wearing any real form of protective equipment, at least none that we're, really familiar with. We see NFL players and they're going out there, like knights in shining armor. They've got, the helmets, they've got shoulder pads, chest pads, they've got pads in their thighs, their legs are wrapped around, almost looking like they're in casts. But you look at these rugby players and they're doing the same thing, but without such safety protection equipment and things like that. And I mean, these guys consider protective equipment like some, using athletic tape and KT tape, and some of these guys even kind of lube themselves up, put grease on their skin, just so that they're harder and more slippery to grab a hold of and bring down. And um, you got injuries to the face, you've got lacerations, teeth are going if they're not using mouth guards. Now, mouth guards prevent most of the oral and the mouth uh, kind of injuries, but only if they're being used. And in rugby, it's not really required for anybody to really use any of these. And we have most of the injuries that occurred in the amateur level, and there's some pretty epic injuries at the professional level, but there's more that you see in less skilled athletes, less experienced players. And a lot of these injuries that happen during the match actually happen later on in the game, as fatigue sets in. They're probably losing, so you got a desperation factor in there, and you've got the need for these professional players to perform at their highest possible levels, so they they can make money. And at the end of the day, it's you gotta do your best on that one. So to kind of wrap this video up, I'm just gonna say, a lot of things that can prevent these kinds of injuries, the protective equipment, if they can implement that into the rules, that could probably, increase the longevity of these athletes so that they can play longer and, live longer, better quality lives. So, we'll see how things go down the road. If the league changes their rules, implements some of these measures, clearly defines what an injury is and what, criteria for stopping a player from continuing to build up and possibly worsen an existing condition. So that's the video.